Well, good afternoon, and it's me again. I'm here, and I'm gloved, and we're going to do a flower. I call this the Alexis flower that Alexis taught me a year or so ago when I was in her class, and yeah, so we're going to do that. Attempt to do it, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a background down, and I'm going to do it with some green, and this happens to be meadow, using the Mr.Clean magic eraser. And when I get these dirty enough, I'll show you how I clean them out, but let's just start right up here, and we're going to make some random movement through here. I'm not sure. I hope you can see this pretty good. Let me check the screen. Well, we got some natural light coming in, so we'll see how that goes. And we'll just keep doing a little dab here. We're on the UPO at this point, and we're going to just use the UPO till we use it and be done with it. Before I end here, I'm going to show you that first video I did with you. We had the very end, I smeared a lot of red ink across the UPO, and it was just like a big old blob. And then we used this little thing and made the little fan shape on it. And I'll show you how that ended up after I finished with the video, which took forever. I have a new program for the videos so that I can edit them and try to make some sense out of when I say something stupid, like when I want to say ink and I say alcohol and I don't mean alcohol. So yeah, and I can correct things like that because I get a little goofy and self-conscious when I'm doing this, and I'm not sure why, but yeah. So let's just put a couple more drops in here, and we'll start blowing some ink. And then yeah, I'll show you that picture. And what I'm going to do now, since we've got this down there, I'm going to try. Now you got to remember, if it doesn't come out, it's okay. You don't have to get excited and you know, sell the farm. It's okay. Poppy Field. Poppy Field, one of my favorite colors. It's a very deep color. It's a Ranger ink, and it's one of the more intense Ranger inks. If you can get the Jacquard inks, I think once you get that, you're gonna really see the difference. This is a little boiler thing they call an oiler boiler. And it holds ink, and it measures, because it's got this tiny little needle end on it, which I have somehow bent because I travel around with this stuff. But it's still functioning, and I can get just a tiny little drop that comes out, and it gives you more control. So what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce to you some of this also. It's called Mixative Snow Cap. I'm not a firm believer in this stuff. It's not real alcohol ink. It's more like maybe an acrylic mix of some sort, and you do have to mix it, but it blends with the alcohol ink, and it gives you, and you'll see the effect that you can get with it. But you also, this is one of those ones, the mixatives, you've got to mix the metallic colors and the pearlescent colors. They all have those little things floating around in the little jug, and you've got to mix them. So let's see, this might be enough mixing, we're hoping. If I can get the lid off. There we go. Got the lid off. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see if I can't get a little dollop up. There we go. Okay, here we go. We're going to put a little dollop here. a little too much, but we'll see where it goes. It's all part of the design. And we're going to put some dollops in there. And then we're going to hit it with, dun da da. Let's see how this goes. Then we're going to do a little red. Do a little bit of red over here. Then we're going to do a little bit more of the white. And just keep, whatever you do, hang in there. It'll be okay. You should just never know. Because it's continuing to move. You just want to stay with it a little bit. And I'm trying to work around my tripod here. So that's what sometimes it... Whew! Too much. But you can see the effect that layering your inks can do for you. And there we go. And just let that sit a little bit because my hand is freezing with this stuff. Whew, it's really, really cold. Okay, then let's do, what did I do with my little brush? Okay, now we've got that. I'm gonna flip this light on too. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Oh yeah, I hope that looks a little better. I'm gonna grab my green and maybe I can find a different green. What color is this? Citrus, it's too yellowy. Citrus, that's all I got. Green, green, citrus, green, green, citrus. Let's see what we got over here. What color is this? Lettuce. Let's see if this doesn't give us a decent color. If not, we still got the meadow we can go back to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring out a little bit, and maybe you can see this. I don't know. Let me move this so I don't put a big old dollop on top of it. But if I bring out a small little drop, it collects right in here. It'll go right back down because it's ridged. There's like it's not completely sealed, but I can get enough ink on my little brush, one of my little nail brushes, fancy mancy little nail brush, and just bring that down like this. And here we have the beginnings of a fabulous flower. And now, how long did that take me? A few minutes? Probably more of me talking than anything. Now, I would prefer to have a darker green, and I'm going to go after a darker green once I get this down in here. But I'm going to move that along. What do you think? Think it's a keeper? I don't know. It's a nice beginning. Nice beginning. And I can bring this out a little bit up here. Bring that around. I don't know what that's called on a flower. I used to know. Gosh, I don't know anymore. That little down cap, the little cappy thing that holds it. I have my little cup of alcohol right here, not to drink, of course, but to rinse my thing out. And from that, let me see, I'm going to be away for a second. I wanted to show you the other inks that I have and some other things over here. This is what I hold my inks in. It came together in a carrier. And this is just this, yeah, I know. I'm obsessive compulsive, I guess. I see a color and went, ooh, me want color. So yeah. Anyway, these are some of the colors that I have. I also have a shoebox full of colors. And then I have another one just like this to my right. And I think I see some darker green over here. This is bottle green. It's too blue. Anyway, these are the lids that I use for my, if I want to mix color on here, and I may as well show you that while I got this. If I want to, I can put a little bit here, and I can let that dry. And once it dries, it's not gone. I can reconstitute that. It won't take long for that to dry either. Once it dries, I'll pick it up and I'll show you. I'll be able to touch it. I won't get anything on my fingers. And if I take a little bit of alcohol and put just a dab in there, I'll be able to paint away with it. And the special thing about these alcohol inks, a little bit goes like crazy. It goes a long, long way. And they last. These little bottles look small. They're half an ounce, 14 milliliters basically, and it goes a long way, which is a good thing. So let's try this. While that's drying, let me see what color this comes out, because I think that might be I think it's too blue, but it is darker. All right, let me take this, wipe that off a little bit so I don't. You can also use watercolor brushes, and eventually I'm going to show you how I use the watercolor brushes, not to do any great watercolors with it, but I use it to cut into the paints to bring out shapes. I use the watercolor like if I was, I'll have to show you what I've done with that. In here, if I wanted to sharpen up those petals, I can take my watercolor brush, dip it in a little alcohol, and maneuver in there. Because of the shape of the watercolor brush, it tapers down beautifully and smoothly. You can get in there and just whip that right out of there. And it leaves it open, but it also leaves it open for other colors. So there you go. It's a little darker. It's a little darker. And let's see if we can't. I can open that up a little bit too. And kind of move that around a little bit. There we go. Get that moving. And you gotta work fast. Kind of fast. You don't have to be like crazy fast. It's not a race. And you know what? You really do your disservice if you try to stay ahead of it, unless you got a plan that there's something you really want these inks to do for you. I love it when the inks just do it, because it's like they're hiding something and they want to tell you a story, and they're there and they're going to talk to you, but they're going to do it in their own way and at their own speed. And that's what's fun, because you never know what's going to come out of it. It's just the mystery of the alcohol inks. Yeah. Here we go. Now we could probably go back here. This is kind of dry, as you can see. It just, let's see if we can't put that in here. Work that out. I'm not wild about that color, but it'll do for what we're doing here, so you can see the process. And that's it. You can work that down. Come around here. And you can keep adding color. It gets darker as you know, the more you apply. And then once it dries, like on my little Pringle lid over here, and it stays darker there, when you pick it up, it's more concentrated once again. As it dries, you can pick up that concentrated piece of ink, and you can move it better. So there you go. Looks a little tad better anyway, a little darker. Now, you could leave it. I'm willing to leave it like this because I think if I move the paints anymore, I'm going to ruin it. For what it is, it's okay. And I'm not real happy with the color on the stem, but it is what it is. I think I'm going to try to locate another green somewhere. You know, I haven't even scratched the surface of the other greens I've got around here. There's clover. Let me try clover. Oh, it's pretty close to bottled, but we'll try it. Yeah, see, it's pretty close to that bottle green. A lot of them are very close to each other. And you can also, if you want to lighten it, you can also add more alcohol to it, or add a drop of the mixative of the snow cap. Now, Jacquard has a different, it has a similar item, but it's not called snow cap. It has its own proprietary kind of name, and I don't recall what it is right now, but it's available. You can look online, pull up Amazon. Even if you don't buy from Amazon, Amazon is a good resource to show you what's available, and then you can go from there. Like Cheap Joe's up in the northern part here of in North Carolina. Cheap Joe's is a good source. I like his watercolor brushes. They're really super cheap, and if you treat them well, they last you a long, long time. We have Jerry's Artorama here off of, oh, what is that? Falls of News, or Wake Forest Highway. And it's within drivable distance, and I'm still not happy with that section down here. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to fix it. Anyway, if I don't do it now, I'll do it later. So that's that. And we'll probably do another one. What I want to do is get the black tiles and do a white one with a little bit of color involved in it. And it'll be the same process, but let's say we do 3 different flowers, or we do 2 flowers, or a flower and a bud. We could still do a bud here if we wanted to, or down here. I still want to do a leaf, but I'm not finding my good green, and I don't know where my good green went. I don't know where it went. I'm very upset. This is not gonna do it. Oh, that's a little different anyway. A new dimension. Kind of different when you blend the two greens together there. It gives a different effect altogether. And it's kind of like what you see when you look at these, the underbelly of the flower, and you look at, it's usually sectioned. And you know, if you're shooting for reality, I guess. Oh, look, I did that. Oh my God in heaven, I'm such a slob. So I'm not going to sell the farm because I did that. We're gonna use it, and we're just gonna daub it. Put some more ink over that, and hope for the best. You know. I'll just daub a little bit. Stand back and watch the show, because that's all we can do. There are no errors in this. It may not be what you wanted, but it's what the inks wanted. So, you know, you got to just kind of figure out what's important. And sometimes they do know better than you do, for some unknown reason. We'll just leave that circulate there. Let's see if I'm going to put some more of that out there. And with my little bitty brush, I'm going to clean it off again. It's starting to get funky. All right, let's try this. That little brush holds a lot of alcohol. And let's do a leaf. And we'll just kind of walk that through there. And now you're reconstituting the other ink that's below here. And you notice I only used alcohol. I didn't use blending solution. So you can see that this is blended. There's no blending solution, and it works just fine. So it's really up to you to decide how much movement do you really want and how long do you want to play with it. Yeah, so basically, well, that's kind of coming around a little bit. There we go. I'm going to show you, because this is a very short video, and I'm going to show you, because the other one was so long, my God, it was like 45 minutes, and it took forever to download. I had to download it 3 times to YouTube just to get it to print. So, here we go. Now, let me show you. While that's drying, I'm going to show you the other one from the earlier video. And that's it. Once I threw some more alcohol and a little more green down, that's what came up. So you don't want to give up on something. This is the most fascinating part in here too. The piece that you don't see it at first, but right in here, look at that. The color, how it spread out, and the shapes that it made. That if you studied it, you'll be able to see all kinds of different things in there. That's what's so cool about this. Is that, are there flowers there? Maybe. What I did see, California on fire, the firestorm that blew up, and some of those videos, those horrible videos that the news shows, and that those fire tornadoes and things. Yeah, and that's the sun trying to come through the flames. That's what I saw, which is kind of depressing. But, and yet in its own right, it is beautiful. So anyway, coming back to our little flower. I could give up on that, or maybe I'll go back and I can put a little dab of red there and make, let's just do it. Let's just haul off and do it. We'll make a little bud. And that bread that dried, and I'm going to reconstitute it. So it's not wasted. And that's what's nice about this too is, and I hate to keep bringing this stuff up. I know you must think I'm the cheapest person in the world. I'm not really, but I am, I guess, because I don't like spending money when I don't have to. And I don't like wasting. So we could draw a bud. And just on that little bit of ink, look how far I've gotten. And that's the cool thing about alcohol ink. It's for cheap people. Not really. It's pretty expensive to mess with. And that's why, I guess that's why I get very frugal with it. I don't like to waste it. The canned air is pretty expensive when you go to buy it. So I'm frugal with that too. That's why I bought my compressor. And it also blasts you. You know, I can use it, but not for training because it's way too loud. But it does move some air. And if I'm doing a big piece, I will get it out. But like for small tiles and things. I blow them off the table with the doggone thing. It's pretty much fun. But anyway, there we've got that. Gotta be careful because I don't want to drip on my picture, which I already just did. Okay, I'm going to get that over here. And probably I'm going to use a little bit of this and bring that down here. And we have a little stem. Pretty big stem. Maybe I can shorten that up a little bit. Too much alcohol. Got a little drunk, got a little tipsy, landed in jail. There you go. Okay. Let's just see if we can't correct that a little bit. And we'll just go through here and make it. That's the other thing, as you turn it around, you're not getting the same pattern, so it doesn't look matchy-matchy as you're walking your way up and around. There we go. I'll just blot that in there. And we can move that up a little bit. We'll just take a little bit of that off, because that's where we're going to put our green. Move a little bit of that. And there we have it. Kind of have it. We don't have it, I don't know. Just fill that in with a little green. And like some flowers, their color tends to bleed down their stems. You can also, if you have a tiny brush and you want to make little divots, little things off, and you put a little texture in something, you can use that and make your little spots. You might bring that up. That might be another plant back there, or it could be another type of leaf. Right? So nothing is ever thrown away when it comes to this, because you can always use it for something else, as you can see. You know, it's a different green, brings out different colors, brings out a different aspect to this, so we'll balance it off a little bit over here. And kind of frame that little fat stem. I got some coxcomb from, I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about, but it's an old-fashioned flower, coxcomb, and I got some from the market yesterday. My friend Gary Calder brought in some flowers, and it's such an old-fashioned flower. I love it. So let's see if we'll just back that up with a few more little dots, and we'll just we'll call that a day, because that's going to be something a little different back there. I'm framing it. Who knows what it could be? We could do this also, I think, for balance. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it even more if I had the right green. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And so, as I putz around here, I'm gonna just see if I can't balance that leaf. And this is, while I'm doing this, I want you to see that black line. That's the where it collates coagulates, I want to say, the color, particulates out with the contents of the alcohol, makes that little darkness And then sometimes you want that. Sometimes you really do want that because it defines things. And it's one of the self things that the alcohol ink does. And other times it just gets horrible. It predominates everything, and you don't want that either. Maybe you do, but sometimes you just don't want that. And so you go in with a small little brush and kind of tease it off. And sometimes it works for you. Sometimes it don't, but sometimes, most of the time, you can get lucky and pull it out. And then just pull it off of there. So there we have another kind of leaf. And with few little dots on the inside of the leaf. And the leaf is folding over, and tell yourself a story like I am. So basically, we're going to call this a day. We're going to call it a flower. I'm going to find something to frame it with. And the next video, I'll show it to you. Okay? Y'all take care now. Bye.